So I'm just gonna set things up to submit this to render the whole sequence. At this point, I'm just gonna minimize this. On Redshift, if you want to render the sequence, pretty much all you have to do is change the render kind of frame to render frame range. We might want to check the animation to make sure that this is kind of behaving like we want. We'll get to that in just a moment, but so we'll do the frame range. On the output, you have to set what's the destination folder where you want to save your sequence. And if you want to add some Aovs to do some color correcting on this, then the best way to do that would be to create your Redshift Aovs and make sure to kind of put this in here, Aov. Okay, that way you can reuse the same configuration over several different ROPs. In this case, we're just gonna be using one, and we could just set everything up in here directly, but why not just make use of this as well? So in terms of Aovs, I think useful things could be definitely always Cryptomat. It's always a good idea to have because it does allow you to have a lot of control over color correction that you might want to apply to one part of geometry or another object. So that's definitely something to consider. Other things you might want is have a separate pass for the volume. That might be also interesting. Then you might want to have something like self-illumination or emission and stuff like that. I'm not gonna, to be honest, I'm not gonna do some crazy color correction on this, and I'm not gonna spend too much time with grading and all that. I'll probably do some slight grading, but nothing too fancy, and I don't think I'll be needing any particular mask for this. But if you want, go ahead and just render things like this. So once you have this set up, don't forget the most important thing is to establish the destination folder. The default settings for the format are actually pretty good. So yeah, you could go ahead and just press render to disk and it would start. Before that, I am though gonna hide the core and just go to the check the animation of the artifact. We can actually do that in here. Let me hide everything else. So now that we have this going, let's see. Okay, this could work. Probably gonna do some small adjustments to this. Maybe after frame 24 we have kind of a small jerk. I'll probably separate these two as well. So what I'll do is I'll just reset this this channel. I know the shortcut, but to be honest, I don't remember what it is. But I just press Control Shift and click, and it just cleans it up. So at this point, our animation would be just based on scale, and that's fine. I want to play with this scale, so I'm going to hold Shift and click on the parameter, and the goal is pretty much just to make sure that I have, let's say, a keyframe at 24. So I'm going to hold Alt and click. Then a keyframe here, maybe 20, 30. Have another one, and in the middle we'll have another one, just so it kind of does a small jerk as an anticipation of what's actually gonna happen moments after. So something like this. Probably you can add your keyframes here as well. So set keyframe here. So we have kind of two small one, bigger one, and then it actually opens. Maybe it doesn't open as gradually, it opens a bit faster. Let's see it in real time. Maybe we can exaggerate this one a bit more. Okay, so I think this is slightly more interesting. And then there it goes. And in the end, maybe we can have a better look at because if we keep it open for a little longer, then we'll have a better look at what's actually happening on the core. And maybe let's close it more suddenly. Maybe even more suddenly. Maybe let's change this to have the curve more like that, so that it snaps. Yep. Maybe even faster. Maybe faster. Yeah, I think I like this speed. And last but not least, we can actually grab this whole animation, copy parameter, and do a paste animation here. So you can actually paste the animation here. You can just right click and channels, or paste expression or channels. And now you have the same animation there. Okay. And we'll just adjust that as well. So I do want to make sure that the snapping happens. Let's kind of offset the animation of one thing and the other. Maybe have this come down a bit, or first, let's say that the scale of the offset is going to come in first. And maybe the values, of course, these are too big, so value of 1 is too big. So it's 0.3 maybe. Let's see what that corresponds to. So this is the maximum it'll open up. I think it's cool. Again, let's offset this. I'll leave the scale or this match, maybe actually bring this down a bit. 0.005. If we'll have any of this. No, I don't think so. I don't think we'll have any of that. Yeah, this looks better. Yeah, so then at the end, yeah, there's that slight offset. Yeah, I think it looks good. So we're ready now. I'm gonna save again, and at this point, just press render to disk. It'll render out, and we'll have a look at the final result in a moment.